Hey, yeah, hi, it's Heidi with Your Mom Tries, where I'm just the average mom and I try things. Might as well be your mom who's trying things. Today is pretty exciting. As you know, I kind of just want to get out and try new things, get outside my comfort zone. And I have like a friend of a friend who plays in a hardcore band. And sometimes he's around and he's talking about like the scene and kind of seems cool. Now, the hardest band I've ever seen in concert would be Josh Groban.
Don't give up because you are loved.
Okay, so maybe kidding a little bit about Josh Groban, though I have seen him more than I've seen pretty much any other band. All right, so I'm gonna be looking up popular bands throughout history, United States, just to get a little bit more familiar with the hardcore punk. There's many different like subgenres I'm aware a little bit of beneath that, but what I'm planning and preparing for is to hopefully go to a local showcase. So Crucial Fest by Huge Bands presents Come to My Town, has many different bands coming, and my friend of a friend's band is playing in this as well. So I'm gonna check out some of these local bands as well. All right, so just a couple things about this video as well before we get started into my reaction video, kind of the review, the first look at hardcore punk is, again, I don't know anything about this culture, just trying to do a little bit of research. So anything I say is just, top Google searches, kind of what the internet is saying. I know there's a lot more to learn. Hopefully I can make some contacts and get to learn a little bit more and experience some of this hardcore scene. Excited to do all of that. Another thing I wanted to mention is all respect and ownership to these wonderful creators. They've dedicated time, life to the artwork, to their videos, their record labels, and creating this music. So hopefully I can just come in as a little bit of a guest to experience something really new, try something really new in this life. But all respect, and of course I'll link all of their information, and their copyrights remain their own. I'm just gonna play a small snippet of there might be explicit language, there might be some other content within their music that I'm reacting to. So be aware that, this isn't Josh Groban, right? So we might have experienced some of that. And let's jump into it. All right, so to do a little bit of research around hardcore punk, like literally, I don't know a ton about it. It says hardcore punk, or known simply as hardcore, is a punk rock music genre and subculture that originated in the late 1970s. It is generally faster, harder, and more aggressive than other forms of punk rock. So that's what Wikipedia says. Roots can be traced back to San Francisco, Southern California, to rage against the predominant hippie cultural climate at the time. Hardcore punk generally disavows commercialism and the established music industry, or any of the characteristics of mainstream rock. Okay, Wikipedia also says it's associated to have spawned straight edge movements and some of those sub movements within there. A little bit familiar with straight edge. It was kind of big as I was a teen growing up here in Utah, where people generally already weren't using drugs or alcohol or cigarettes, so kind of fit in with some of the culture here, and then spun into harder lifestyle within that. Or at least that's what I remember growing up. Hardcore is heavily known in the rise of independent record labels, and in the 80s, that DIY ethics of the underground music scenes. So definitely don't like sellouts is what I'm getting. Do-it-yourselfers, keep it low key in those underground type movements. When I was a teen, I did go out and see like Vans Warped Tour. I saw their AFI, Anti-Flag, Good Charlotte. I went out to a couple showings of Sum 41, MXPX, Blink 182, that type of punk, like soft pop punk type of music. So that's the closest to the bands that we're gonna be kind of reviewing today. Okay, from Wikipedia, I'm gonna read just a little bit more about the musical elements because that's what I'm excited for, not just like the cultural aspect of hardcore or like the fashion or those type of things, but like the musical elements. What makes it hardcore punk? Okay, so Wikipedia says more primal, more immediate, speed and aggression are a good starting point for hardcore punk. Okay, Wikipedia also says to rage against kind of that Chuck Berry or Sex Pistols rock and roll. It's a radical departure from that, where it's not just verse and chorus. It dispels, I like this sentence, it dispels any notion of that songwriting is supposed to be. That it's more independent than even traditional versions of music. So I'm not really expecting to hear a ton of like, you know, here's the hook and here's the melody and here's the harmony within listening and reacting to this music today. So it'll be really interesting. Okay, a little more from Wikipedia about the musical elements of hardcore. It says in there that like the lead singer is like the leader of the mob. So they might be shouting or singing and the crowd is supposed to sing along, adding to this element like we're in it together. The guitarists play fast chords, often very distorted and amplified. The bassists use varying rhythms in their bass lines, ranging from like longer held notes to quarter notes. So the bass lines might be a little bit different. And then hardcore drumming, it says hitting them aggressively. They have been called being the engine and the most essential element of the genre's aggressive sound and unrelenting anger. Sounds really interesting. All right, so as I look at, I just Googled best hardcore punk albums of 1980s. Just kind of want to start maybe with a little bit earlier things. Albumoftheyear.org came up and they're listing Minor Threat. Not familiar with that band. Sorry if I pronounced this wrong, but Husker Du with Zen Arcade, Bad Brains. Not heard of either of these. I have heard of Black Flag, as I had a friend who was into Anti-Flag. Black Flag came up often, but I don't think I've actually ever listened to Black Flag. Misfits, I've heard of them, not really listened to them. The Replacements, I don't think, maybe it sounds familiar. So yeah, let's get into some of these. All right, so I am gonna listen in my headphones so I can get like the dual sound in here. I'll try to play a couple clips underneath my review so that you can get an idea of what I'm listening to. So the first one I chose is Gorilla Biscuits and the song Start Today. Okay, so yeah, some distortion. Gonna turn up the sound. Very classic lead vocals from this era, kind of what I'm hearing. Definitely forward drumming. I hear a lot of cymbals. And they just said the name of those songs, Start Today. Sounds like that might be part of the chorus. Okay, so Gorilla Biscuits, thumbs up, for sure. Okay, so this next one from our 80s list, Minor Threat, Out of Step. As I pull up the song, it's a very short song, so betcha it's gonna be fast. Let's take a listen. Yeah, starts off really fast. Very forward drums. The vocal on this sound recording almost sounds like it's behind everything, but it definitely adds to the sound. Definitely some like repeating sounds, like you get like into a rhythm of it almost. But it doesn't seem like there's like that chorus or verse or anything, but like there's moments where it's like, even if they're saying different words, it sounds familiar. All right, yeah, love it. Honestly, exciting. All right, so now I'm back on to songoftheyear.org, looking into maybe some 90s song, and it looks like these might be rated by user score. So again, I'm not saying these are good. I'm just trying to do a little bit of research before I jump into going into a live hardcore show locally here. Refused, never heard of them. Cave In, nope. Hero Is Gone, nope. Botch, no, none of these sound familiar. From Bad Religion, okay, that sounds like something my parents would not have liked me to get into. AFI, okay, so I've seen AFI in real life. Bad Religion, okay, Converge, Saves the Day, Suicidal Tendencies. Okay, so let's look up a couple of these and give them a listen. All right, so again, I'm gonna listen in my headphones and I'll try to play a little bit for you so you can hear what I'm listening to. But I chose Bad Religion, Against the Grain. It looks like that's the name of the album, but also a name of the song. So I'm gonna listen to that song. Here we go. Very fast, start off.
3,000 miles of wilderness overcome by the flow.
Way different vocals than the previous ones we've listened to. A lot lower.
Against the grain. That's where I'll stay.
Oh yeah, Against the Grain. Like, not going with culture. I like it. I really like the bass lines. Not defeated by the government. Love it. Okay, so for this next one, on the top of the list was a band named Refused, and their album, The Refused Party Program. And so what I thought was interesting was when I went to play it on Epitaph Records YouTube, is he had like a diatribe at the beginning of this video. So I don't know if that's like in the album version, but about like capitalism and some other things. And he's like, and that's what this next song is about. So let's get into playing that. Refused the party program, I think is what he just said. Very fast, very yelly. Yeah, very screamy. I really like the guitar though. The guitar is a little bit more forward than maybe some of the other ones. Some of the lyrics seem to be repeating a little bit, or it's like, this is, and then I can't quite hear what he's saying. Yeah, I like it. It's different. It's different than the other ones we listened to. More screamy. Now back to albumoftheyear.org. Lynn's best hardcore punk albums of 2000s by user scores. So let's see if I recognize any of these bands or songs. Converge, Jane Doe, never heard of it. Between the Buried and Me, nope. Midori, nope. Converge, Under Oath, After the Burial, You know, these do not seem, I've never heard. Thrice? Maybe? Maybe I've heard of them. Oh geez, I am old and out of touch with this, I think, for sure. Okay, so we're gonna listen to Thrice and the song The Artist in the Ambulance. Now, this is the first band that like the immediate searches came up with like their own YouTube channel and their own website and things like that. So maybe that's why I've heard of it before, is because it seems to be a little bit more widely known. So let's give it a listen.
Late night breaks like hear the tires squeal. Red light
Definitely classic, that emo sound. Like I've even heard of it, like the accent of the emo singers where it's a little bit more whiny. I think Tom from Blink-182. Okay, yeah. Like it, drums aren't as aggressive as the other ones. Some distortion. Empty words are not enough. Sounds like he's like introspective. Maybe that's why emo is in this one. All right, let's go on to something else. All right, now let's go on to 2010s and what our album of the year.org says about hardcore punk albums in the 2010s. Okay, so the band Converge is on here again. Great. Thornhill, never heard of them. While She Sleeps, never heard. The Dillinger Escape Plan, Nails, Architects, Loathe, Every Time I Die, Converge. Okay, Architects. Okay, so maybe we'll choose one from Architects, and I don't know. What do you think? Like, While She Sleeps. I paused at that one because maybe I know it. I don't think I do though. I really don't think. All right, I've got my headphones back in so I can listen with lots of volume. While She Sleeps, You Are We. It looks like, again, they have an official YouTube, so maybe I have heard of them. Let's give it a listen. Looks like they even maybe have like an official music video, which we haven't seen. Okay, like nice, soothing, almost music at the beginning. Light guitar, like almost acoustic guitar plucking. Some more synthetic things in the back. Val's coming in with the screaming. Okay, no longer soothing. Get your blood pumping. The first lyric sounds like You Are We, so the name of the song. Again, very strong beat. I like it. All right, so now that we've taken a journey from 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, let's jump into maybe some of the bands I'll be seeing at Crucial Fest this upcoming near my town. Again, I'm not familiar with like the local scene. I looked up the concert information and I'm pulling from like those top billed for those days because usually those are like the ones most people are excited about. So we'll see. Okay, so this first band is called Wayfarer. I found a song called Fire and Gold. It looks like it's come out pretty recently. And it says here, Wayfarer is the black metal of the American West. I'm intrigued. Say more. And this song is taken from the album A Romance with Violence. So let's take a listen. Melodious again, slower start. I'm kind of bracing myself for what's been happening in the past couple videos, past couple songs. Nice, like almost steely sound. There's definitely like some Western a little bit in there. Okay, so I am watching, it looks like their official video, and they're bringing out some American West themes, dress, old train. So yeah, they're trying to embody some of that. Okay, yeah. Deep voice. I like that. Distortion a lot though, still on those vocals. And again, I feel like it's layered to not be forefront like a lot of the music I'm used to hearing, the more pop music. Like some organ? Oh yeah. Layered vocals, like someone saying, singing fire and gold under it, so it's not like competing, but adding to the ambiance, adding to the feel of it. I like it. Bet you some of their stuff is a little harder than this song, but I like it. Can't complain. Okay, so this next band that'll be at the local Crucial Fest concert that I'm going to is Visigoth, and here is a song called Warrior Queen, and it's from the album Conqueror's Oath. And just even in the YouTube description, it has some really interesting information about it. So it says, the hammers of heavy metal ring loud and true in the mountain halls of Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, so local maybe, right? Standing in staunch opposition to any presumptuous notion of reinventing the wheel or redefining the genre, Visigoth instead dedicated themselves to worshiping at the ageless altars of heavy metal with a singular focus on writing music inspired by their favorite records. Okay, so really interesting, and I love the tone of even just this small snippet about them, and again, intriguing. So let's have a listen to Visigoth Warrior Queen. I can hear it like bouncing. Okay. Starting out like low and reaching up in tone, but still like cleaner and crisper than like a yelling scream at that beginning, like almost like a call. Okay, this feels to me reaching, like they said, maybe into some more heavy metal. It sounds a little more echoey and like maybe like a little bit more classic rock. Drums are pretty heavy forward. I love the drums. And it sounds like they maybe have more than one vocalist. Or at least that's how they've mixed this track. I love it. Okay, I'm in. All right, thanks for coming along with me on this first initial try of hardcore punk. Again, I hope to go to a local concert and learn a little bit more. So this might be a part 1 video. We'll have to see. But thanks again for watching the video. And remember, all tries are good tries. Even trying hardcore punk